Hey everybody. On the theme of power cycling my systems, I've got this little small form factor ThinkCentre Lenovo running a ThinkVision Lenovo. I wanted to dig up a Lenovo era-appropriate mouse and keyboard, but they're frankly deep in a storage area that I don't want to dig into. So the thing about these systems, excuse me, a little runny nose here. The tough thing about these systems is they never came with Wi-Fi, so you have to create a Wi-Fi system. I'm using a Netgear Wi-Fi extender, which works very well with these old systems. They basically allow you to set up a network with a modern network in your home, and excuse me, basically, be wired to the network, to the internet. Not so important for a system like this, but you can bring up Supremium, and you can go to YouTube and attempt to log on to YouTube and see what kind of performance you can get out of it. Believe it or not, better than a Raspberry Pi, apparently. Now, this has an internal speaker. It also has a speaker out, which I haven't gone to the trouble of setting up yet, but this is a perfect use case for Windows XP. This is roughly what would have came with a system like this. If we look at let's take a look at memory. If we look at the memory, it is from 2008, and really, honestly, that is totally correct for this system. I would surmise that memory is likely legit original memory for this system. Totally appropriate for this system. So we're going to call this and let's take a look at the motherboard. Yep, the BIOS is from 2009. I'm going to say that this system is a 2008 system originally. And from that time period, you might have been moving into Vista, Windows 7, but frankly, this is a perfect system for Windows XP from my perspective. Now, somebody has gone to the trouble, and you can take a look at this if you're interested in getting a code for Windows 7 Home Premium Refurb. Somebody's refurbed this computer at one point and installed Windows 7 on it. I don't care for Windows 7 on a system quite like this, because I think it has it's a great option for a desktop system for XP. It's like the ideal age for XP, and it's probably one of the perfect systems that I own for running XP really well. So that's what this is about. Now, let's get into the details of the system. So you've got let's take a look at this thing. Intel Core 2 Duo. It's a Wolfdale. It's running at 2.66 gigahertz, very good. Let's move on from there. It's got a decent set of, runs 64-bit, really. That's all that I care about there. Don't care about Okay, let's move in here. Okay, here we go. It's running a Lenovo motherboard. We don't really know what. They haven't specified. Q35 chipset. And like I said, it's got the BIOS from 2009. Excuse me. Memory, we've looked at a little briefly here. DDR2, or, well, it isn't 4 gigabytes. This is funny because it reports 4 gigabytes of memory. It's running dual core. But let's take a look at the actual system. We got 2, and we go to this one here. Oh no, okay, so we do have 2. Okay, excuse me. Pardon me. For some reason I thought this was 3. Okay, so it's running 4 gigabytes of memory. That's way more than this system can actually use. Interesting. Probably better suited for Windows XP or Vista. I didn't realize that. Okay, anyway. Q35 Express chipset with 384 megabytes of accessible RAM according to this system. Let's dig into that a little deeper. We can go into here. Yeah, it says it's dedicated 384 RAM using GMA 3100, a Intel chipset. So we'll see how that does. I'm interested. Okay, and it's running a 1440 by 900 resolution. So we're going to look at that, see how that does. Very nice, very interesting. I did not know that it had 4 gigs. So yeah, it's 4 gigs. So this is a 32-bit operating system. This is not going to utilize anywhere near that much. So interesting. Let's see how this thing does with the Nova Bench. This is interesting. I always like when I run into something I didn't expect, because I kind of thought, oh, I know the system. I thought it had 3 gigabytes of RAM, because that's really what a 32-bit system can handle. But this has got 4, so it's got an overabundance of RAM, really. Anyway, that's it for a summary. Running a little warm at this point, I'm surprised. And Western Digital 160, I believe, is the hard drive. Has an optical drive, Sound Max. Does that surprise us? No. Yeah. Let's look at the graphics. Not much to speak of. It's integrated graphics. It's gonna be probably pretty dismal, and that's why I really have it set up for XP. It'll probably be like one of the worst performing, but it does have all the drivers installed, as we can see here, and it's set up with, look, Windows XP Service Pack 3. It's in a ThinkPad M57, and there you go. It's addressing about 3 gigs of the actual 4 gigs of RAM. So if I wanted to swap out one of those sticks of RAM for something for a 1 gig, I certainly could. That's something to think about if I ever needed one. Anyway, here we go. This is the Western Digital hard drive. It is showing no errors. It's running at a decent temperature, and it's been running like a good long time. Let's just quickly bring up a calculator and figure out how long this thing has really been running. So it's saying 1930. So let's go up here. 1930. Okay, let's divide divide that by 365. That'll give us a idea of how many, 5.25 years of time run. This thing's got a lot of miles on it. I think it's one of my oldest hard drives, but hey, it's working. Probably been just a workhorse kind of machine, so I can't really see it being a big issue. If it works, I don't mind. These old hard drives, you know, they have a lot of life in them, and they used to last forever. So sometimes you just don't want to put that kind of like dismiss them because they're old. Especially for an XP machine. I really think it's overstocked with RAM, and I could probably take one of those sticks and change it. What does this say? It's right. What's going on here? Is there something? Let's close out some stuff. I have no idea why it's... Can't remove that. Let's exit that. Let's exit the... That's a screen. Sort of like a Redshift machine screen. Let's do it anyway. Proceed. I don't know what is going on with that. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got going here. Integrated graphics with a lot more RAM than it really needs. Overkill in the RAM on this one. I feel like I installed XP on this because I just wanted one XP desktop. Let's see what we're getting for, oh yeah, really low. 25, 26 frames. It's not going to do well. I think that's why I ended up installing Windows XP on it, because the graphics were one of those things I couldn't really improve on, and it was the real weak point of the system. And as you know, like I used to, okay, so just to give you some context, I used to work in a very large corporation in Canada that no longer exists because they went out of business, but there were a big company called Sears. You might have known them as Simpson Sears and Sears Roebuck. There was a lot of different identities it had. It was like Eaton's in the Bay of times gone by. It just has gone, they didn't live up to progression of keeping up with Walmart and these other companies that were changing the retail landscape. So anyway, I used to work in a company, and I used to basically run the system like this. Very similar. It might have been slightly older, but very similar. I worked in another company, again out of business, but it used to run Dell systems about this size and configuration. And these were workhorse systems, and they were great for what they were back in 2008. Yeah, I guess some of mine were a little earlier than that. But anyway, yeah, so these were great systems for what they were. Now here's what it can address. It can see roughly 3 gigabytes of RAM, and it's using what it can with that. Here's the CPU score. Here's the terrible graphics score of 12 frames. And here is the hard drive score, more or less, the hardware score of how it accesses the data. So wow, this is a perfect candidate. It really is a perfect candidate for XP, but with maybe one 2 gigabyte stick and one 1 gigabyte stick. if that's ever what I need to deal with this, like in order to maybe recuperate one of the sticks if I wanted to get one to use in another system. Anyway, this is it. This is 353. Not the worst score in the world. Very decent for an XP system, let me tell you, but not very good for anything else. The weak point is, of course, that graphics score. Wow, what a slog that is. And I'm sure that's why I must have I'm sure that's why I must have chose to put XP on the system, because of that one factor, is just simply the crappy graphics. So here you go, guys. This is going to be my video for this one. I'm doing the old power cycle process on all these systems. So we're just going to do this. Let's see here. There we go. Get the screenshot there, the thumbnail. So guys, that's it for this one. Oh yeah, I think I covered everything on this one. Yeah, it's a Windows XP system, really. Ran one of these things for years. Learned a lot about Office applications in a corporate environment using these systems. And yeah, they had their time, they certainly had their day. And a great XP system, way overpowered really for an XP system, but ideal if I dropped a little bit of the RAM to use in something else. But as it stands, overpowered for what it is for an XP system. And that's going to be it. So another power cycle for this guy. And there you go, guys. Talk to you in the next video. Bye.